Did I mention this was going to be a very intense video? Deliciosa #1, and I don't know if you can see him. I have not watered him in such a long time, but he's actually breaking. He's so dry. That's #1. #2 is, I will put her link below. This is a gorgeous cutting that I actually won off of Instagram. Look at the roots since I've had the cutting. Can you see them? Look at them. I won this and received it maybe a week ago. Look at those thick, fleshy roots. I like to put LECA in the bottom. We trick our plants around here. Just a little bit of moss to make it feel comfortable, but we really want to trick it and put to pushing roots down. I get everything damp, but I don't leave standing water in the bottom. And then I put it on a warm mat. And probably collected over 100 plants last summer. They're all growing, thriving. Some of them didn't make it. But obviously this plant and really all philodendrons, which I think this is in the philodendron class, love semi-hydroponics. And so now what I'm doing is I'd like for them all to live together in the same pot. So today's about, we're gonna investigate the roots and see if we can get it all in the same pot. What brought this on was I have a really beautiful pot in the entrance, and this Monstera is over here. See the lip on that? It sticks out of the cash pot like an inch, and I just think that's so unattractive. To combine these probably would only work if I gave it a a kind of a big pot. And I don't really have a big pot. Okay, I'm gonna pause the video and I'm gonna go look and see if I have a bigger pot. I'm just gonna have to rearrange where I put it, I think. Okay, I hope y'all are ready because this is going to be a long video. Okay, so if you have 5 children and a husband that use your tools, this will take twice as long as it's supposed to. Okay, so I found, this is going to be the forever home of my Monstera. It's this bucket. And the reason I like the bucket is it's kind of clear, so I can actually see what's going on a little bit. Now, with dirt and with semi-hydroponics, you don't necessarily have to see what's going on, because when you lift the pot, if there's heft to it, it means it's still too wet. So I can do the pot lifting test and kind of tell if it needs water. However, it does help to have clues. Okay, so this is tool #1, will be my handy drill. And what I'm going to do, oh, I was gonna show you the other part. So this is going to be the basket that this bucket goes in. Isn't that cool? I'm really excited about that. So yeah, if you have a giant plant and you need a place for its roots, that's always a good idea. All right, so I'm gonna start up kind of high. I did 2 holes. And actually, if I wanted more ventilation, because this is a plastic bucket, I would do holes all around the bucket. And I'm gonna do a few holes. To drill a hole in your bucket, you're gonna take a big screw or a big nail. You're going to put it under fire for 30 seconds to a minute. If you have a gas stove, that makes this very easy. And you'll heat up your screw or your nail and then just poke it through your plastic. Did I mention this is gonna be a very intense video? I just want to be very thorough with this Monstera so we don't have to do this again. Let's go ahead and look at the second Monstera because that one, the roots are wet. So, you can see, oops, just broke that. Okay. This one has more rotten roots than the other one did that are obviously old rotten roots. I think the other one I've already cleaned up once, and so it didn't have old roots on it. This one has some dirt and has some like rotten roots. Any roots that are gray or brown and pull off easily, those are your rotten roots. And you want to gently kind of pull the roots so that any rotten roots can kind of come off. The other one hasn't been watered in weeks and is extremely dry. This one is extremely wet. I think I'll let the other one kind of sit in a little bit of like nutrient water while I'm doing this. So they're kind of in this, it's kind of had a big drink because I'm gonna put them in kind of dry LECA and not water them for at least a couple of days. So there's the roots. They're looking pretty good. There's all kinds of new roots growing. Okay, and we already know what these roots are like because there was no dirt to start out with. It was a cutting with about 5 inches of new roots. It's absolutely loving the LECA. So Monstera Deliciosas, love LECA. The only thing you can do with semi-hydroponics, you can do wrong, is you can overwater them, okay? So we're gonna need to make a moss pole for this plant. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this first one, this great big thing, in some water, and I'm gonna let it sit in there for the time that I'm making the moss pole. Okay, so those roots are soaking now. This big bowl of LECA, I still don't have a really great method for LECA with lots of dirt and roots in it. Jerry Harns from Easy Grow Hydro, which is where I get my pots with these little pop-ups, he likes to let this dry out, like he would put it outside in the sun, and then he likes to pour it from one container to another, like once it's real dry, with a fan going, and the fan will blow the roots and all of that out. This is my pole. It is a 1/2 inch PVC pipe. Here's my bucket. It's white. Okay, so I used white before and I don't like white. Let's see, I'm gonna put that in there like that. And kind of blurry, but definitely has some texture. And so please stop barking. This is actually not bad. The glue gun, the PVC pipe, and the rope. Okay. So this is turning out pretty cute. This is how it looks so far. The reason I don't do a moss pole, even though those are amazing and you can spray them with water and the plants really love that. Starting out, you don't ever want to put a new conversion into too big of a pot. Like I'm taking a risk putting my brand new cutting in this pot because it's a cutting. It has grown roots, but they're not going to be at the bottom like the other roots. So that though, you can kind of handle if you mist. And if you do a little foliar mist with a little vitamins or a little nutrients in it, a little super thrive in your foliar mist, that's one way you can take care of those roots that are kind of on the top. You mist them, and what you're trying to do is get them to just kind of survive or thrive between your bigger waterers. So anyway, what is your plant goal? My plant goal for is for my home. I really love plants. I love the oxygen they add to the air. I can feel a difference in our home. I can feel we're sleeping better. They do make you happy. They help your mood. But having said that, I'm going to have some collectible plants. In fact, I did order a Thai constellation. I think it was from NSC Tropicals. I will link them down below. It was $250. They said they're growing very nicely and they will ship in March. So today is January 15th, the day I'm filming, and they had like 60 more in stock. Want humidifiers and all, this is not that. For me, it's about making the spaces in my house really pretty with plants, but not so, just trying to find that balance. I'm having to really pull back in a room because I really just like that one gorgeous huge plant in one corner. And so that's about balance for me. Okay, so there's the last little tidbit, and I'm going to do the glue right there, and then I'm going to use the gun to hold it because it's hot, really, really hot. All right, hopefully it'll hold kind of well. Just keep holding it down, holding it down. It's kind of tall, but put the level kind of high. I love that you can see it. I don't know if you can see it, but it's that high. I really like it. Okay, so I'm gonna put the pole in. Adding your LECA to, and the roots are kind of like tall like this, you wanna use a scooper and kind of lift the roots so there's more like linearity to the bottom of the LECA, and then pour it around and then shake the bucket. Like keep hitting the bucket until those roots are completely encircled by LECA. For attaching to the moss pole, I like this Velcro. I try to list everything in the description below. Wow, y'all should see my white couch. It's really bad. But I'm so happy that frees up pot space. I took 3 plants and put it into one. Okay. Okay. Doesn't that look happy? Oh, I don't know if it is happy, but I hope so. Okay, so I'm gonna arrange it some more. I love the moss pole. Put pictures on Instagram. I'm sitting in dirt. Oh, it's so bad. Okay, so I'll vacuum. So that actually wasn't that bad considering I just took 3 plants, put them in one pot, washed the roots, checked the roots, made a moss pole, and now I have this plant probably set for hopefully 2 years in the mason jar. I'm gonna wait 2 or 3 days to water this plant. I want it to kind of be thirsty, kind of be like, where's my water before I water it, because I don't want any root rot at all. The roots looked amazing on the giant plant, and there was some roots on the medium plant, but I'd never checked those roots, so I was glad to get those cleaned out. And then the third plant hopefully will just keep growing its roots down, and then everyone will be happy. But yeah, that's the Monstera Deliciosa. It is a beast. So I know these are really popular, but if you live in an apartment, you know, have a corner, a pretty large corner. Now it will help me. I'm gonna tie it up onto this pole, and you can make them grow up. You can make them like really grow up. So, but they're pretty wild. They're wild at heart, and I think in some countries they're considered a weed because they are aggressive growers. So I hope this helped y'all. I hope you enjoyed watching me wrestle my Monstera Deliciosas. And don't forget, the question of the day is your plant goals. Are you collecting plants because you want the wildest, most amazing plants in the world? Are you just wanting to make your apartment pretty, your house pretty? Do you just want like a few plants to kind of spruce up the oxygen in your bedroom? I'd love to know. So thank you so much for coming, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.